What is good? What is good? What is good? Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. We are feeling good. We feeling great. We practicing our 12 laws. Today is the day of the law of correspondence. So as above, so below. So whatever your inner world reflects your outer world. But it's not going to be one of those videos where I preach about this, that, and feeling good and crystals or nothing like that. Not that I do crystals or something like that. But Today, we are going to get to a topic. So, as everybody has already seen, the Edp445 documentary has come out. And there was a lot to it. There was a lot of background, a lot of goofiness, and I just want to give my take on it because, I just thought it was some interesting topics. I feel like people have touched on different sections of it, but I just want to bring my own opinion, and maybe it'd be a little bit different. Maybe it's the same as everybody else, but because I haven't watched everybody's reaction. But as I watched it, I understand the point of background stories to kind of get a sense of where things started and how things came about. That, that maybe certain circumstances, maybe obstacles or things have happened in somebody's life to lead them down a road that most people would not go on and would see as counterintuitive, evil, just destructive, anything you want to name it. I don't know why whenever I talk on the mic, I feel like my mouth gets super, super like wet for some reason. I'm just like, okay. So for me, looking at his background, trying to understand where he's coming from, and I just couldn't do it. Like, it made no sense. Let me see, hold on. There we go. It made no sense because I would think it'd be some kind of extraordinary, maybe like super depressing, super just like alienating or isolating background and backstory to make him want to go down this path, or make him, that kind of pushed him there. But all it was is, if you watch the documentary, or if you haven't watched it, pretty much he was a young kid, he was an Eagles fan, that was his favorite team, he liked watching wrestling, he liked villains. And I was like, you know what, that's fair, I like villains as well. I think villains are cool. He had a point when it came to, they make the story. If you can't have a hero without a villain, you know what I mean? But his whole thing started when he couldn't get women. He felt like he talked to one girl, he felt like he was being misled. This was high school, or high school or middle school. He felt like he was being misled. They held hands, they talked, but I guess she was talking to other guys and that she never really liked him. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. I feel like everybody grows through something as they start getting older, as they start to date, as they start to come into themselves. Everybody has a story of, I dated this person, terrible decision, they never really liked me, yada, yada, yada. You kind of move on past it. Maybe you have a little bit of moments where you're kind of stuck. Some of us still have unhealed trauma. Some of us have healed past it. But for him to go through the years of steadily and increasingly hating women because he's having no luck with women, and then to say, I got so desperate, I didn't like him that much, I hated him this much, I get so desperate that I decided to just go for whatever. And I'm assuming he got messaged by a younger fan, and then that's where, you see, he got messaged or he started reaching out to him, I'm not too sure. And he started to talk to underage women, or kids, and underage kids, he started talking to kids. And the fact that in the interview, he was like, yeah, there's no other way. There's no other woman I could talk to, nothing like that. And mind you, this is during a point where even though he had money, he still wasn't getting women. Even though he got really successful, he still wasn't getting women. I just had to think to myself, you have literally multiple channels that you can go through to talk to women still. Honestly, like in my fair take, he really could have either lost the weight and hired a personal trainer, got fit, got to cook. If you want to do that, or just cook your own food, just get the personal trainer, work out, get in a better shape, fix some of your habits. Because I don't know. It always boggles me because you don't know what's in somebody else's mind. So it's kind of hard to be like, self-awareness this, oh, you should have been able to look at this. Because sometimes we are blinded by stuff when we're in the mix of it and not really noticing until somebody else on the outside of us points it out to us. But it's just like, if the current way that you're talking to women or trying to approach women isn't working, why not try something else? Why not, like I said before, work out? Why not get a better routine when it comes to either whatever other problems that you got going on? If you're not getting a good haircut, if you're not very good with talking to people, if you're just not smelling good, if you don't wear the right clothes, try something different. Try things that can be positive to you and help you out. Even if you don't get the women, you can at least feel better about yourself. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, just like, okay, you have all this money, right? You couldn't find anybody. You honestly could have got a high class lady of the night, paid extra for the girlfriend experience, learn how to talk to women. You could have used her to be your coach on how to get women. You could have really paid a woman or one of these women to say, hey, I need help talking to women. Can you teach me? You could have got a dating coach and they could have probably whipped you into shape. You could have got a girl with a girlfriend experience. They could have showed you the ropes when it comes to talking to women. You could have learned how to wine and dine. You could have learned how to ask them out, what works and what doesn't work. And they could have gave you honest feedback. And you could have literally upped your game a plethora of ways because you had money. This was during the height of your success. Like, yes, you've been dealing with this up until now, all right, since back then, but it's just like, at some point, you kind of have to take accountability and break out of it. Because it's, there's points in my life to where I wasn't my best self. Of course, I'm still growing. You see my hair is kind of undone and I'm kind of growing it out. I'm going for a new style to complement whatever else I got going on. I'm going through a whole journey. But you kind of realize that, yes, there's a lot of things you may not agree with in the dating pool. There's a lot of people who are selfish and shallow, but there are people out there who are genuine. And there may be times where you actually need to change because it doesn't help you to stay who you are. And people always say, just be yourself. And there is merit in that. There's definitely merit in that, but it depends on what it is. Because honestly, people get upset with the saying that there's somebody for everybody. And honestly, I'm like 50-50 about it because there's billions of people in this world. It'd be hard to say there's someone who doesn't have the same thought process as you, the same lifestyle as you, and y'all have a lot more in common than you would with anybody else. It's very possible. Because if there's people who have heinous crimes who can find people who are in their 80s and 90s who can find people, there's people who wear a bunch of jewelry in a goth emo. There's people who, not to say that any of this is bad stuff, except for the very first example, but there's somebody out there who will be into the same thing as you. Now, depending on what you're into, it's going to be a lot harder. That's just going to be a fact. It's going to be a lot harder. And it depends on where you live, your circumstances, if you can even get out to wherever they're at. And it's going to probably take a while, depending. You may get lucky, you may not. But I wasn't understanding that part because it wasn't even like a crazy background. He had 2 loving parents. He, went to school. He didn't seem like he was struggling a lot. But it's just like your weight, your feelings towards women, and it just drove you to just go from the desperate. Because there's so many avenues in between that. It's just, it blew my mind that he said that this was the only way to go, that there's no women for me to talk to. It's just like, it's either you already liked underage people or you really just are extremely stupid. Because to make that jump to whatever, to just kids is insane to me. This is just insane. Like, there's nobody Like, you couldn't get a lady of the night. You couldn't, pay somebody. You couldn't, I know you don't want to pay somebody, but, you got to get your reps in, how you can get your reps in. And I'd rather you do that than you go talk to somebody who was going to get you put in jail, honestly. Like, dude, if we had to choose between the lesser of two evils, I'd rather you go with the oldest profession in the world and get what you need versus you do this and you traumatize and destroy somebody's life before they even really get started. And I'm leaning more towards the answer of he was already into it, because just the way he talks about the need for, he wants to take somebody's quote unquote innocence, the way he talks to them through text about how he wants to kidnap them, he wants to do stuff to them, force them to do stuff. And it's just like, sir, you may not be can you say, I don't think you say the whole word, a PDF file, but you are definitely a child protester. Definitely a child protester. Because as I believe what a PDF file is from 0 to like pre-pubescent, like pre-puberty. And if you're talking to 14, 15, and 6, like up to like 16, that you'd be out of that phase. I want to say, I don't know. I can't remember when you hit puberty for some reason. Once I hit mine, I just stopped thinking about it and moved on to the next thing. But there's a lot of things that I think he just has mentally, and I don't know where they stem from. I'm just armchair psychology. It really seemed that he was coming from a place of maybe feeling powerless on his own life. As he said, he's never accomplished anything never felt accomplished until he did his thing on YouTube. And I could imagine going however many years to feel like you've accomplished nothing. And the fact that I guess maybe he wants some kind of power and is displaying out like sexually or like what, because there's always got to be, there's a reason behind stuff most of the time. Sometimes there is no reason. But I feel like with him, it's very disturbing that he could, at any point in time, he could literally change. Like, I don't mean change mentally. Like, he doesn't have to do what he's doing. If he was really just desperate and really just wanted attention and wanted affection, like I said, he could have got a lady of the night. He was on, and the craziest thing is that he keeps saying that he wasn't able to get a girlfriend or anything like that. But he literally was shown on Facebook dating, talking to women, even got a girlfriend out of it, which I don't know what she was going on. Like, that was wild. Like, the fact that she got a girl, that you decided to date this man with all the other allegations that you've probably seen about him, then proceeded to be in the documentary. And y'all wouldn't sleep together? Like, what was the boundary on that? I'm very confused on what her boundary was on why they wouldn't sleep together, because it just didn't make sense. Why would you go out with this man? And then honestly, I could feel for him on that, because it's just like, yeah, we're in a relationship. Like, is there like a reason why you won't sleep with me? Or, are you gonna be in with somebody for like a year? I'm gonna say it's like 6 months to a year. I want to say how long it was. And it's like not just, I'm assuming they had their own private conversations and reasons, but it just seemed very odd and strange to me. And that, he was saying that he struggled with not being a virgin. You're just like, sir, you had all these, there's so many other opportunities that you could have lost this at and got to see what this is like without going down here. That's why it's kind of like, the more I think about it, the more I just think that he likes underage people. I think there's a dangerous mixture of the thrill of doing something you're not supposed to do, but also desperation of wanting to feel like there is a connection. Because, besides all the other stuff he was doing, he was really feeling like, this person could be his girlfriend. And I'm just like, I'm just going to keep going back to the same. There's so many other ways that you could have did things to avoid this. If you actually thought about it and tried. I can understand being angry. I can understand, in women, I can understand like feeling like you need to do something, but there's so many levels that you have to go down to get to underage people. that I feel like if you would have to just genuinely want to do that to skip everything else, because you had options, you have money, you had the fame for it, you're able to date. The fact that you're able to get a girlfriend now while you have all this stuff going on tells me you probably could have got a girlfriend then at some point. It's not gonna be easy, it's probably gonna take you a while. Facebook dating didn't have, well, I don't think it was a thing back in that time. No, it wasn't a thing back in that time. I'm pretty sure you could have found somebody to talk to at some point. But you have to be willing to try. And you have to be willing to get over your anger towards women, because it's not going to help you out in your relationship. You're just going to be mad at them and trying to figure out reasons on, trying to deal with that and have a proper relationship, which you probably don't know how to have because you've never been in one. Next topic. The YouTubers, so I had to look down because that's where my board is, so I can know how to stay on topic. The YouTubers who did these investigations on this man are so disappointing, because it's like, most of y'all who did this already had a lot of money, you already had a lot of clout, you already had a lot of attention, but you used this incident to raise up your own clout to get some money and not do it the proper way. And that's very telling and embarrassing for all the people that was part of that. It's very sad to see, because it should be everybody's goal to protect our children. And the fact that you're more focused on, instead of doing it the right way to where he would face actual consequences and he wouldn't be able to get to repeat these same scenarios and be caught multiple times, you decide to go over the clout route and do things in the goofiest way possible and let this man continue to be scot-free. And I was watching the one with Gideon and the Skeeter, Gene, I want to say that's his name, threw me off, because Skeeter was like, yeah, there was nothing else we could do. Look, hindsight 2020, I don't think there's much difference that we could make. I'm pretty sure you could have, because you have a whole career in doing this with many other videos, which I'm assuming that you probably got other people arrested or in trouble for it. And you're gonna sit here and tell me that there was not much that you can do? I would appreciate it if everybody was just honest or just like, yeah, I just wanted the views. I just wanted the views. I don't really care about the kids. I just wanted the views. And I may get hate for it. I could be wrong, but it's crazy to me that you had 3 different investigations with the other guy, the big dude with the beard. I can't remember his name. And he botched it, because being a PDF catcher, I feel like you already did the research. You should already know, or at least have taken the time to look into what you're supposed to be doing so these people can actually face some kind of consequences, instead of just online vigilantism or public reprimand. The fact that you messed it all up by doing the one thing, by sending a message first. You're not supposed to send a message first. I'm a big fan of Chris Hansen. I used to love watching his TCAT videos. Favorite thing of all time. I wish they made a box set. I would have definitely bought it and had it and watched it forever. But the fact that you sat here and you did this to make everything null and void, when it would have been the perfect thing, and you mess it up. And it's like people continue to mess it up. And it's like, it's not even private mess ups. It's public mess ups, because it's one after another after another. So y'all keep doing it instead of somebody actually taking it seriously and doing what they're supposed to do to protect the community, to protect kids, to, actually dish out justice. That's the point of your channel, no? Is to make awareness and to get these people in trouble for what they're trying to do. And I get it, the money and the clout is nice to have, but just like, at some point your morals got to be somewhere. And I agree with Chris Hansen. I think the people who did it are just goofy. It's very sad to see. Now, another thing, the law. I'm not too educated on it, so it's hard for me to give my exact opinion. I can give an opinion, but it's not going to be educated. I am having a hard time understanding how the law works when it comes to this specific situations. If you have somebody who numerous times keeps falling into the same trap, and it keeps getting messed up. They've already proven themselves that they were attracted to, they would actually show up for, you know, that they would do these things. Excuse me. Why hasn't the law stepped in to try a sting operation? Why is, like, what are they doing? Like, this man has been documented being caught multiple times trying to talk to underage kids, and nothing can be used, nothing at all. I get the previous other investigation of botched, but it's like, you can do your own. This man is a public personality who continuously does this stuff. Maybe they're waiting for a super strong case, because on the documentary they did say he admitted to like 17 different crimes that couldn't get him put in jail. When he talked to the lawyer said he should shut up, because he can probably get into some actual trouble. Now, the fact that I don't know if there is going to be any trouble, because it's, I don't know, the law is just weird sometimes. I don't understand American law, because it seems like the people who do need to go to jail get multiple chances, and the people who make the first offense end up going to jail and getting the book thrown at them. So it's very hard to tell what's going to really happen. But otherwise, after watching the documentary, I'd say it was pretty good. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't care for the visuals that the EDP actor was doing. I don't know if it made too much of a difference with how I felt about the things that was happening. Because I mean, I can hear what's going on and I can understand the gravity of the situation. I don't know if needing to be shown it made a difference, but I guess it's for the theatrics, and like, so you can actually see. And I guess it could just be like a blank wall as you're just reading text and like listening to it, right? So I guess maybe just keep people engaged, just like, you know, just a different slice of different things. The therapist talking to him, which he stopped going to, is not surprising. What else was happening in there? I don't know. I mean, I feel like he'd probably do it again. He probably will get caught again. The fact that he keeps getting away with it because of these botched and these, you know, clout-loving YouTubers is not surprising either. And we'll just have to see for the future. I feel like things just keep things just pop up, honestly. We'll just have to see what happens and where things go. But honestly, good documentary. Got to see what he was about. You know, I feel like I'm not missing anything when it came to his backstory. I feel like there was nothing to really tell me or show me why he would have to go down this route, or why he went down this route. There wasn't backstory, didn't help anything. It just fed into my ideas already that he was just a terrible person, and he already like kids. Like, it didn't really change much. It just told me more stuff to dislike him, and stuff that I just wasn't surprised about. Like, from the stuff I already heard about him, this just kind of confirmed it and made it worse. But otherwise, that was my 2 cents on it. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. Continue with the regular scheduled videos. I just want to make a little correspondence about this, but hey, we out here. Have a good day and see you soon.